Hola, 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 Spanish ninjas. We are continuing learning about tener expressions. So yesterday we reviewed the ones that you already knew, and we added 2 more tener expressions. And today we have 2 more. Now this isn't a complete list. There are actually a handful more of tener expressions. So if you come across them, you'll know that they are out there and they use tener instead of to be. So let's take a look just to review our tener expressions, and then we'll get some practice. So when we use tener años, what does that translate as? What are we trying to say? Right, to be so many years old. Very good. Tengo 14 años. I am 14 years old. What about tener hambre? Yep, to be hungry. Very good, very good. So I'm just conjugating tener and I'm plopping in hambre. Tú tienes hambre. You are hungry. Tener sed? Right. To be thirsty. Very good. Nosotros tenemos sed. We are thirsty. And these were our ones from yesterday. Tener frío. To be cold. Muy bien. Los estudiantes tienen frío. The students are cold. And tener calor. Whew. Tengo calor. I'm hot. These are our 2 new ones. Tener suerte. Now you may have heard someone say, buena suerte. That means good luck. So tener suerte means to be lucky. So if you ever want to say, wow, ella siempre tiene suerte. She's always lucky. So we're just conjugating tener for our subject and plopping in suerte. So say it with me. Tener suerte. Good. This one, tener razón. Razón. Tener razón means to be right. So if you're like, gosh, my mom is always right. Mi madre tiene razón. Or I'm never right. I know you don't say that. No tengo razón. So we just conjugate tener for our subject and plop in our other word. But remember, these are all translating as be. So you have to be careful, because kind of when you're doing your thing and you're, doing your Spanish and you come across that, you're like, oh, that's ser, or oh, that might be a star. But these guys take tener. So let's see, the little Edpuzzle questions will be popping up. Let's see what you can remember. Number 1. Which tener expression from our list would match up with Mr. Krabs? If you said tener suerte, you are right. To be lucky. Excelente. What about number 2? Which tener expression from our list would match up to number 2? If you wrote down tener razón, very good, muy bien, tener razón. Number 3, whew. Write it down. Remember, if you write it, it gets it in your brain. What would match up to number 3? If you wrote tener calor, then you got it. Cuatro. Which one of our tener expressions matches up to cuatro? Cuatro would be tener sed. Tener sed. Número 5. Which tener expression off our list matches up to cinco? Tener frío. Tener frío. That would be the right one. And the last one. Which one off of our list would match up to the picture in number 6? If you wrote down tener hambre, you are right. Tú tienes razón. Excelente. Now, let's get a little practice together. So you're going to need your papel and your ninja lapis, your pencil, to give these a shot. I would like to do them together so that when you do the practice worksheet, you're not like, what? So he is always right. So the first step is, that's a tener expression. Which one do I want? So I want tener razón. All I'm going to do is conjugate tener for my subject. And I can even put the L in there. Tiene razón. And then siempre kind of floats around. It can be here. It can be at the end. Él siempre tiene razón. That's lovely. Now, the siempre would not be in the middle here. It wouldn't separate the tener expression. But you could put it in the front or you can put it in the back. I am right sometimes. So step number 1, what tener expression am I going to use for I am right? The hint is we just did it. Tener razón. Good. So here I'm conjugating for different subject. What am I conjugating it for? Yep, yo. So I need tengo razón. And the yo is optional. You can just put tengo razón. But do you remember how to say sometimes? A veces. A veces. Yep. Yo tengo razón a veces. Are you lucky? Which tener expression do I need? Tener suerte. So whenever you make a question in Spanish, you just put the verb first. So let's change that to tienes suerte. Plop a little question mark there, and guess what? We're finished. Tienes suerte. We are very hungry. What tener expression do I need? Tener hambre. Good. And I'm going to put a very in there. So I'm going to conjugate tener for we, which is tenemos. Now, hunger, hambre, is actually feminine. So it's going to be mucha hambre. Because mucho means a lot or very or much. So tenemos mucha hambre. Can you put a nosotros here? Sure. Do you need it? No. And she is cold and they are hot. So we've got 2 here. What am I going to use for she is cold? Tener frío. Good. Ella. Conjugate tener for she. Tiene. Whoops. Sorry about that. What am I doing? There it is. My little accent went crazy. Ella tiene. Oh, I can't get it on the I. Tiene frío. She is cold. And they are hot. What will I put for to be hot? Tener calor. So ellos tienen. I'm having a hard time spelling now. Tienen calor. There you are. Good. So that takes an accent on the I, but my goofy, there it is. Okay. So as you can see, I just conjugate tener for my subject and I am good to go. I am fabulosa. So your practice will be like this. I wanted to, before you left, to talk about something else with tener that you've already had. That's muy importante. It's the special tener equations. So you learned how to express have to do something and feel like doing something. And they took tener as well. And I like to include these with this, with this content because they do take tener and they're kind of special, just like tener expressions. Do you remember what we needed to use for have to do something? We started with tener plus K plus the infinitive. And an infinitive was an unconjugated verb. So this was how we expressed I have to do something or you have to do something. Have to do. So you conjugate tener, plop in K, and plop in your infinitive. You only conjugate one thing. That's tener. So how would I say I have to do my homework? It's going to pop up in the Edpuzzle. Would you say I have to do my homework? All right, ninjas, if you said tango, K, there's my infinitive, hacer mi tarea. My computer always insists on putting an accent on that I. That I is not accented. Good. Tengo que hacer. I have to do my homework. You're a rock star. Awesome. Feel like doing something. Now, this is the one that kind of like kind of blows your brain because there is like no have in this expression. But to feel like doing something, do you remember what we needed? We needed tener. We needed plus ganas de plus the infinitive. This is so handy. This is like the level up expression because we always say, I don't feel like doing that. Or, hey, what do you feel like doing? So we use this in our natural conversation and communication more than you realize. So if you're going to stick one of these things in your back pocket to always have, this is it. This and tener que are very useful. So we're going to conjugate one thing. We're going to plop in ganas de and the infinitive, and we're done. So I'll give you a second to figure out how to say, I feel like playing video games and not doing homework. How do you say, I feel like playing video games? The reason why I love this expression is because it sounds super advanced, and it is kind of super advanced, but it's so easy. You just conjugate tener for your subject and plop in the rest of the parts. Jugar los videojuegos. That's it. Very little work. I conjugated tener for yo, plopped in ganas, plopped in de, plopped in jugar because it's a video game, and my word for video games. And I'm done. And I sound amazing. And you are amazing. So get to our practice and do the practice worksheet and turn it in. And have un día fabuloso, chiquitos. Okay, hasta luego.